All right. Here we go.
Shalom, shalom, fam. Shalom.
Shalom.
Grand Rising. So, on this beautiful Monday, we are doing our once a week fasting. This is just not for physical, but it's also for our spiritual bodies, right? So, I wanted to talk a little bit about fasting. Um, Fasting has beautiful properties to it, spiritually and physically. I'm going to go off with some on the spiritual and jump in at any time. Spiritually, fasting is a way for us to break bonds, break chains, deliverance to set in, for us to reset our spiritual bodies, reset our spiritual mind thinking. Fasting is a way for us to regroup ourselves, to also to come into a closer covenant with the Most High Yah. Talk about intimacy, y'all. Fasting really brings you close to the Father. It unclogs your ears and it takes off the scales from your eyes. It allows you to be slower to speak, quicker to hear. And fasting really it is just a game changer, you know. When I started fasting, I did it because I did want the spiritual aspect of it, but I really needed the physical part of it. That's where my main focus was, because as I was reading the Bible, I read that something deliverance doesn't come except for fasting and praying. And so I started researching fasting and on Google and YouTube and things like that, and found out that the beautiful natural properties and benefits that it has towards our bodies physically. So I really kind of started doing fasting because of that, because I wanted to get off medications, pharmaceuticals, pharmakia, witchcraft, prescriptions. I wanted to get off of that stuff. And in the process, not knowing what I was doing, y'all, I was doing this by myself. In the process, I was able to really tap into something spiritually. And please forgive me if I'm looking this way. I'm looking at y'all too. We got two cameras going.
Yeah. We're going to put this on YouTube as well for those who don't have the Facebook group.
Yes. So for those that don't have Facebook, it will be on YouTube. But yeah, you got anything to add with the spiritual?
I started fasting in February of this year. And I started fasting because I wanted to try it. I wanted to kind of understand what it was. I grew up in the church, but it was only like mentioned, like you should fast, but there was never anything deeper than that of like what you should expect during fasting and how to fast and the different types of fast. So I started just trying to figure out how to even do it, and she could tell you I didn't even think I could do it at all, like, to be honest. But I started in February with like the baby steps of the Daniel fast, because the Daniel fast is where you're still eating, but it's a strict diet. There's no meat, no animal products, different things that you're literally eating: fruits, veggies, nuts, water, and like fresh squeezed juice, pretty much. So I started with that and did that for 11 days. You're supposed to do it for 3 weeks, but I made it 11 days, which that's a good start for me. And then as we got to talking more, we started doing like a 1 day fast, intermittent fasting, alternate day fasting, and
fasting now, from sugar for 30 days.
From sugar, we're thinking about doing a no meat coming up next month.
Yes, we're thinking about doing a no meat, and also we're thinking about doing a liquid fast. Yes. So there's many types of different fasts you can do. Yes. For spiritual benefits and physical benefits, yeah.
And now we're doing longer fast. We just did a 3-day fast a couple weeks ago, and it was actually my second 3 days because I had done a 3 day fast like the week before as well. And like I said, I didn't think I could do it 1 day, let alone 3 days. And now we're about to push 5 days soon.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Hallelujah.
5 day fast coming up soon.
But with the whole breaking things off, like it's and going to those next spiritual levels, it is crucial.
Yes.
It is like she said. It says in the word, some things you're not gonna break free from if you don't take that time to basically cut everything out and focus on Abba.
Yeah.
And allow him to speak to you and heal, and you never know what he gonna do, but he do it.
Yeah. And fasting, when she was talking about breaking things off, fasting, we have learned, because I started this fasting journey about 5 years ago, and through it I learned that you can kill your flesh, like literally you can tame this flesh, and this is one reason why I strongly promote fasting, because if you're ready to break addiction in your life, this is the thing that's going to break the addiction. Fasting really does tear down strongholds, and a lot of times they're talking about, oh, the enemy is coming against me, and the enemy this and the enemy, and really a lot of times it's not the enemy, it's the inner me. This thing called flesh, called self, and if you have issues with anger and fear and oppression and depression and mental issues and psychological issues and financial issues and whatever issue it is, fasting is the key. Fasting really takes you to a place where you become more humble. Please look up the word humility. It has nothing to do with being weak or anything like that, but you become submissive and sensitive to the Most High Yah. So, with the fasting and things, we also pretty much intermittent fast every single day. Intermittent fasting is where you eat at a certain time every day. You're not constantly eating, because we've been taught to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We've been taught to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and 3 snacks in between there. Just glutton, just plain out eating too much. Because when we eat, we don't just eat a little bit, you know what I'm saying? When we eat, we got these big old huge, got them right here. These big huge plates. Yeah, this is what we're doing at each meal. And it's just contaminating us. And that even with the things that they're putting in our foods, we wonder why we're having all these different issues and things. So it's time for us to really evaluate where we are in our fasting life. If you don't have a fasting life, this is a great time to start. OMG. This is a wonderful time to start fasting and allowing Abba to do a work inside of you. Today we have set aside Mondays once a week to do our fast. We start Sunday night at 12 a.m. and we don't end the fast. You break the fast on Tuesday morning 6 a.m. So it really becomes more of a what? How many hours is that? Because from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. Monday night is 24, so add another 6. So that's about 30 hours of a fast. We usually don't break our fast until around noontime. Or later than that. Yeah. So sometimes our fast ends up being like a 42-hour fast or a 44-hour fast. So, and we don't mind it. We're getting our bodies used to fasting because we want to kill this flesh. We don't want food. We don't want our emotions or other things of this world to rule us, to dictate our character, to dictate our personality. We want the Spirit of the Most High. We want the Ruach to be able to freely flow on the inside of us.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
So with the fasting, we're also going to talk to you about intermittent fasting. We suggest that you put this in your daily life. Were you doing before I introduced the water only fasting? Were you doing intermittent fasting already yourself?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Like I said, I went from the Daniel fast, and then
The water fasting.
We started doing the intermittent and the water, and
So the intermittent fasting, it's a blessing, you guys, because it really helps to tame the flesh also. This is not an overnight process. You literally have to train. We're training. We're training our bodies to get used to not thinking about food, not dealing with food, and not surrounding our lives with food. And it's really something that you have to make a conscious decision that you're not going to do. You're not going to allow food to dictate your life, right? Or soda pop, or look, because there's other things you can fast for if you have issues with other things. Some of us have issues with energy drinks, coffee with creamer and sugar, sweet drinks, going to McDonald's and getting those, them coffees with the ice and stuff.
Iced coffees or frappes.
People are addicted to soda pop and Gatorade and all these things that really very toxic for your body. So we're not just talking about food, but we're talking about drink. Because really, I don't drink anything but water. I might have juice once in a blue moon, but I really don't put anything in my body except for water. I watched a video of, I believe that man's last name is, I forget. I might have posted it in our women's chat on our messages and our personal messages, but it was an elderly man, and he was talking about how he's 77 and his wife is 72. Did you watch that?
You posted in this group.
Okay, yeah. And he named 3 things that him and his wife do at 77, and his wife is 72. And they're not on any prescription medications.
Hallelujah.
Come on, y'all. This can be girl. Are you kidding me? This is, Abba has given us the tools to do this. This is what we are created to walk in dominion. And this 77-year-old man, almost 80 years old, no prescription meds, his wife on no prescription meds, and he mentions that they drink water only, and they exercise. And what was the other one that they do?
I don't remember what he said.
Well, either way, I'm gonna post that video here for you guys also, so you can watch it. And I mean, it's short. It's not even, I don't even think it's
a minute long.
Yeah, it's very short. But he just posts these 3 things that him and his wife do, and they're in their 70s. And I'm like, what in the world? We need this thing to click. We need to get this. And it's up to us to do it. Nobody can make you do this. It's not going to happen for you either. You have to do this on your own. Faith without what?
Works.
Is
dead.
There it is. So if you want to be alive, if you want to live, put that work behind your faith.
Hallelujah.
Put that work behind your faith. I mean, you can just exist if you want to. But existing...
What kind of life is that?
Existing and living are 2 different things. We want to thrive. So intermittent fasting you can do, and I'm going to tell you what I do and what I suggest we women do, because we'll get the best benefits out of this. Intermittent fasting, usually I stop eating by, I'm going to say 7. Usually I stop eating by 7, and I don't eat again until the next day, maybe around 4. How do you do yours?
It depends. When I first started, I did like between noon and 5 or
Yeah,
noon and
we were
6.
doing that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely trying to stop no later than 7,
Mm-hmm.
because especially what time you go to bed too, because you don't want all that food sitting on your stomach when you're
Exactly.
going to sleep. So yeah, it just depends. But usually I can go till like 3 or 4,
Mm-hmm.
and then stop by 7.
Yeah. And the only reason why I stopped by at 7 is because my husband, he does the cooking. So, but he also, when he comes in, it's late when he's coming in from work, and so a lot of times we're not eating till really 5 o'clock. So I stop mine at 7, but I don't like to really do that. I really like to stop around 5 or 6. But with it being hot and things outside, for some reason my eating time is getting later and later. Cause like,
I noticed that
yeah,
too.
yeah. But like in the fall and the winter, we were eating a little earlier. I think that hunger bug was hitting us a little bit sooner. So, but if you should pick your hours of where you would like to have your feasting time. And when I say feasting time, that doesn't mean you take 4 hours and you eat all those 4 hours.
Right.
You have a meal. That's it. You just have a meal. And then if within your time, if you eat a meal at say you eat a meal at 3, okay, and then it's 6 o'clock, and you're like, I want a little something else. Eat a little something else, but make sure what you eat is benefiting your body. You want to eat live foods. You want to eat good protein meats. Or you can drink a healthy shake. Make you a healthy fruit smoothie. Especially with us being in the summertime, that's a fantastic thing to do. Making
I was gonna mention that
fruit
too.
smoothies.
It's about the food that you're eating as well. It's not just about when you eat and how much you eat. It's about what you're feeding your body too. Because if you're not feeding it the right stuff, you're not gonna be able to be sustained through that time where you're not eating. So that's
Yes.
very important. Like getting away from as much processed foods and junk food and fast food, sugar as possible. And something that she's taught me, it's okay every now and again to treat yourself a little bit, but don't go overboard. And if you do treat yourself a little, just hop right back on.
Yes.
And keep it pushing.
Yes.
And I was one of those people that was drinking coffee with a lot of cream and sugar. I was a person that was drinking a lot more soda and stuff like that. And thankfully, since February, I maybe have had 1 cup or 2 cups of coffee, and I haven't had any soda. Now I do occasionally have like lemonade, and me and my husband like apple juice and orange juice, but hallelujah.
Yes,
Get off them sugary drinks.
Yes, yes, yes. And everything in moderation. If you want some juice or something, have some juice, but don't drink juice all day. I advise don't even do it every day. Give yourself 2 days out the week where you can have, where you'll give yourself some grace and have some juice or something. But the less sugar, and I like sugar, that's one of my downfalls. The less sugar, the better. I've noticed that sugar takes people through a roller coaster process. It really has your emotions all over the place. And, sugar is very addicting. They say it's more addicting than crack cocaine and opioids. Now that's powerful. But, some people are like, no, that ain't true. Look at all the overweight people in this country. That's from sugar. All the processed foods have what in them? Sugar. All the drinks have what in them? Sugar. There's way more obese people, morbidly obese, overweight people than there is crackheads and opiate users.
Mm-hmm.
So sugar is winning.
This is what they're feeding us.
Yeah, that's what they're feeding us.
I mean, even in your cereals, like I couldn't even believe the cereal aisle. It's
Yes.
not even cereal anymore.
No, it's chemically treated stuff.
All the cereals are, it's Reese Puffs and Oreo and
Yep.
all these candy bars. I'm like, that ain't cereal.
Nothing but sugar. And this is
Nothing
what
but
people are
sugar.
giving their children.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wonder why our little girls are developing way quick. Like when I was a little girl, I was just this little toothpick. But then these new little babies, honey, they developing way quicker. I'm like, this is weird. But it's the foods that we're eating. Even with the meats and all the steroids and the hormones. I mean, come on. If they're putting steroids and hormones in our meats, that's what we're ingesting. And if a woman is pregnant, that's what she's giving her baby. It is what it is. So that's where prayer comes in. We have to pray over the things that we're consuming. And then we have to make wise decisions.
Yeah.
You have to make these wise decisions for yourself.
Yes.
You literally are what you eat. You are what you eat.
Elder Shemaiah and Zacchaeus just did a study that was titled that. You are what you eat.
Confirmation. Hallelujah.
I think I'll go through and post those
Please
videos
do.
in this group.
Yes.
That they've been doing. If you haven't already watched them, there's lots of good stuff.
Speaking of that, I'll be with them on Wednesday.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yes. So hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And so I'm excited about that, because these brothers, they are for the men and they're wanting them to get their bodies together as well. This is just a blessing. Abba is doing a new thing, y'all.
Yes.
He's doing a new thing. Yes, we are beautiful, wonderfully made, all of the above. But get this, we have a responsibility to take care of these temples. It's your responsibility. No one else's. You can't blame the kids. You can't blame family, mama and them. You can't blame your job. You have to make the time to take that walk outside and clear your body, get that sunshine, breathe in that fresh air. You have to take the time to make the right choices for the food that you put in your mouth. You have to take that time and do that. And I just thank Abba because, this is part of our ministry. Health is wealth. This is part of our ministry. Zion Fitness, Abba, he wants us to be in the best physical health as possible. So he can pour into us freely so that Ruach HaKodesh has a comfortable place to stay and hibernate and habitat and stay and not have to leave. So we want to give the Ruach a clean vessel, not contaminated with filth, stinking thinking. Your gut, that they say your gut in your stomach is your brain. And I can see exactly how true that is. Your gut absorbs all the good and the bad stuff. So if you put in your gut the good things, your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your pancreas, your bladder, your blood vessels, your nerves, all of your organs will receive the nourishment, the nutrition that it needs. We're supposed to be eating for nutrition. We're supposed to be eating to live, not living to eat.
Yes. Ooh, I like
That's
that.
powerful.
It is.
I didn't make that up. I heard that somewhere. So we're supposed to be, putting nutrition. Every time you're about to put something in your mouth, say, what kind of nutrition am I getting from this cookie? Am I getting nutrition from this cookie? Or am I getting nutrition from this cherry with seed in it? And that's another thing since you brought that up, Abba. Our fruits, when you get watermelon, please don't get the seedless. Get the one with the nice, pretty black seeds in there. The seedless one is a cloned watermelon. It's manufactured, man-made, okay? Anything that says seedless is not made by the Most High Yah.
Ooh-wee.
Seedless grapes, that includes seedless grapes. That's not created by the Most High Yah. Grapes with seeds in them is created by the Father. Watermelon with seeds in them. That's why I eat a lot of cherries, because it's hard to find seedless grapes in the store. You can't even really go into the store and find seed. You can't even find grapes with seeds in them. Everything is seedless. And it's getting that way with our watermelons too. They're going from beautiful watermelons with the beautiful black seeds in them that really bring the true nourishment to our body, to watermelons with no seeds in them. They have these little white fake seed things in them. So be conscious of what you're putting in your body. You want to eat the fruits and vegetables with seeds. And you want to eat more fruits and vegetables, period. Because we need nutrition. We need nutrition. That's what your body is craving. Most of the time when the body is like, oh, I'm hungry, it's just saying I need some nourishment. I need nutrition. Not I'm hungry and give me any crap you can find to shove in your mouth.
Yes.
So we're going to get these strongholds and we're going to break them.
Hallelujah.
These generational curses of obesity and being overweight and being glutton and sugar addictions. We're breaking these things. Breaking this crap off.
Hallelujah.
We're no longer going to allow food, sugar, processed foods, fast food, restaurant food, takeout food. We're not gonna let this stuff control us anymore.
And after a while, you don't even want it, really. Like you said,
That
you
part.
you might want it occasionally, but it'll start to disgust you more and more, to be honest.
Yes, that part. And if you take the time out to start cooking your food at home, that's one thing. I really don't like going out to eat. I don't like fast food. I'm always, if I have to eat it or if I eat it, it always disappoints me. I'm never ever really satisfied. Yeah. But when I'm at home and my husband is cooking, oh my, when I tell you,
Chow down.
hallelujah, that fresh fish that he be catching, oh my goodness.
Yes, girl, it's good.
Hallelujah.
It's good. Our husbands be catching some good fish.
Glory to Yah. Oh, it's nothing like it. And then you're like, I don't want that. You know, I want home cooked food, you know, and just, you know, just the fact of getting that fresh nutrition, fresh salads, you know, cherries, fish, you know, and don't get me wrong, I make good food. Don't get it twisted. My husband is a fantastic cook, but most of the things that we cook, it come from the earth. We eat potatoes, we eat rice. You know, I make homemade cornbread. Homemade. I ain't talking about Jiffy. Homemade from scratch, you know. So you can make your homemade breads, your homemade cornbread. You can eat good, but use the proper things. You know, we just got to start making better choices. Yeah. Make better choices, and you'll find yourself when you're eating home cooked meals, you're satisfied. You're more satisfied. You're more satisfied. So, on this beautiful day, pick your intermittent fasting time. Usually, you'll fast for 16. This is what I like to give starters. I don't like to do the 12 or the 14 hour because 8 of those hours you're gonna be sleeping. So I try to start you off with a 16-hour intermittent fasting that you start with. So you'll fast, say you go to bed, say you stop eating at 6 p.m. You go to bed at, 9 or 10? So from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. in the morning, that's 12 hours. So usually I like to add another 4 hours onto that, more towards 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock to break your fast. So that right there is a 16-hour intermittent fasting. If you can stretch it past that and go past lunch, that's even better.
Even better.
You'll get more hours. But even with that, you'll pick a time where you're gonna eat, and you just have a satisfying meal. Nothing big and that's gonna just weigh you down and be like, I want to go to sleep now. Have a nice fresh lunch, and then have another meal before 6 p.m.
Yep.
And you can do it that way. Or you can do how we do. We usually stretch our fast and we have one good meal.
One good meal. Yeah.
And that's it.
For the most part.
It's really easy. It doesn't cost money to do this. And you'll start sleeping better. You'll start losing weight. You'll start hearing from the Most High Yah more clearly. You'll start breaking chains immediately. When you start this whole process, you'll immediately start breaking chains, breaking bondages,
And you're saving time and energy and money, because you don't have to buy as many groceries, you'll find, because you're not eating as much. And then you're not spending as much time in the kitchen trying to figure out what to eat and preparing it and cleaning up after it. Like, you'd be amazed and you can use that time to move your body, to exercise, to get in the Word, to pray. Like, that's where you put in that time. You swap it out.
And that's so powerful what she said also. And I know some of you are like, well, I got kids and I got this and so even with the kids, sometimes our kids are eating too much. And it's the perfect time to teach your children how to eat. That we eat to live, not live to eat. That we women start pouring into our little girls right now. That we don't overeat. We're not going to be eating a bunch of sugar, pouring into them fruits and vegetables. Because you get this, you can give them fruits and vegetables. You don't even have to go in the kitchen and cook nothing. Here's you some apple, some peanut butter, some celery, some carrots with some little ranch or whatever.
Salad dressing of some sort.
Give them set out a vegetable tray. This is what we having for lunch. Why not? What's wrong with that? They're getting nutrients. Here's a fruit tray. Why not? Here's a watermelon and vegetables for lunch. This is lunch. We don't have to have meat and bread and sugar and pastries and cereal. And we don't have to have all that crap. Let's start giving our children something different. Raising up a generation of children who's concerned about their bodies and their mind. Some of us have children that's acting out. Might be the things they're eating. Because sugar will make people, let alone children, act a fool. So what are we feeding our babies? Are we being good examples to our children? Are we being that positive role model? Because most time, if we're sitting there eating, if I'm eating cherries or eating some vegetables, my grandbaby coming up to me like, Juju, I want some of that. Okay, baby. Here you go. And we sit there and we eat. we smashing them vegetables and them cherries. So,
to add on to that, about teaching the children, like she said in the beginning, we were taught to have breakfast, lunch, dinner. We were taught to have a snack at least 1 to 3 times in between there. And instead of being taught to listen to our bodies, your body will tell you when you're hungry or when you need nutrition and when you don't. And I realized a lot of times I was just eating because I was bored. I was just bored and didn't have anything else to do or didn't want to do anything else. And so teaching the kids to listen to their body